All right, hello everyone. Welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is April the 7th of 2022. It is probably far later than that for the people that are watching on YouTube because I'm still under a 7-day ban. Day 2, day 3 of a 7-day ban. I don't even know. I haven't been counting. Um, But yeah, that's still going on. We're still here. It is, what is it today? Is Thursday. God, this week. Every time is just going faster and faster. Um, but yeah, we're still here. We're still going through. Today, we will be reading Psalm 121. This one is 8 verses. Oh, okay. It is, there's a page break in between, so I will, well, at least the sentence stops. Good. Because I was going to say, sometimes there's a page break, and sometimes they will actually split a word between the pages, and it messes me up really bad, but this looks like it's going to be okay. So, but we will read this, and then we will talk about it, and then we will, I don't have much of anything else to talk about. I'm still staying away from media and news and the fear porn that people keep putting out there because we should not fear the things of this world. There is only one thing we should be worried about, and that is our following of God's commandments. That you will hear of all these things, but fear not. Don't worry about it. You will see the signs. You should pay attention to the signs, of course, but don't have fear in it. Don't be caught up in it like so many other people. So many other people getting caught up in it so much, and every single time something happens, everybody freaks out about it. And yes, you should be concerned when something happens, and yes, you should be speaking out whenever you see evil, and yes, you should be doing this and doing that, and I get that. But at the same time, these things are happening for a reason. And we have to understand why they're happening. We have to understand how we can prevent it. And we have to understand that if we cannot prevent it, then we have to help others find a way through it. Tell others that it doesn't even have to be like this in the first place. Find those and help those get through this. But that's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole nother thing. And let's go ahead and read the psalm, and we'll get through this. All right, Psalm 121, a song of degrees. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Amen. Now, I did not read that before I went on my little spiel about not fearing the things of this world and not worrying about it and trying and talking about trusting in God more than trusting in what is happening in the world. I did not read this before that. But sure enough, we got the same message today. I did not plan this. You can believe that or not. I did not plan that at all. This was absolutely about keeping faith, knowing that God is there for you, that God will keep you and hold you. That is exactly what this was about. Let's go back over it. Let's start from the top. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. Your help will come from the heavens. Your Father is looking over you. He is not way far away in outer space. So far away that he cannot help you, he cannot see you, and he cannot do anything for you. Your Father is right above you. The earth is his footstool. It's what it says. The Bible says the earth is his footstool. He sees you. He is right there with you. He is not way far out there. He is not so far away that astronauts have gone into space and said, I do not see God. No, he is right there. He is right there, and you have to know that he is closer than you think. You are closer to him than you will ever be told by this world. He is right there for you. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth, which is the only help that we seem to be getting right now, because you cannot trust in the help of man. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. You will not be moved. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will not suffer you. He will not let you be moved. He will keep you strong against the wind, against the currents, against this world. He will keep you there. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. He is eternal. He is there. He will keep you. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The Lord is everywhere. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. He will protect you from this world, from the things of this world. This is not just about the sun hurting you or the moon hurting you. This is about the Lord will protect you through everything. You do not need to worry. The Israelites, whenever they fled from Egypt, were in the wilderness for 40 years. Within that 40 years, they did not tire. They did not suffer sunstrokes. They did not suffer heat exhaustion. Their clothes did not even wear away, because the Lord kept them. He kept them under control. He is the shade on your right hand, because he will not let the sun hurt you. Interestingly enough, the moon shall not smite thee by night. The moon shall hurt us by night. Wait, what? And this goes along with one of those things where they say that the sun is a giving light. It is a pure giving light. It gives life to plants. It gives life to people. Gives us, what is it, vitamin D. It gives us a lot more than that too, but it helps us more than it hurts us. More than anything else, we need to be in the sun. Somebody speculated one time the reason that we burn is because we have sunburns as bad as we do is because we've lost the ability to stay out in the sun for most of the day. You know, we used to be set up chemically to be able to stay out in the sun for longer than it was. I myself personally say, because of all the time I spent outside whenever I lived in Florida for as long as I did, I'm able to stay out in the sun longer than other people. my skin has actually changed. It is a different color than it was when I was born, and I have a permanent tan. That's the truth. It is an absolute truth. My skin, it's definitely light right now, just because again, I don't get the sun anymore. But my tan is constantly. It's almost always constantly there. The color of my skin is darker than most people that I know because I spent most of my time outside. That's all I ever did outside. I never got burned as a kid. I don't ever remember getting sunburned as a kid unless I was on the water. Unless I was out at the beach, and that's just because you're getting dual rays. Is what you're getting. You're getting it from the top and from the bottom, and it's cooking you. It's almost like a some kind of chemical reaction or something that comes from the water and comes from being out in the open. It's the only time I ever really got cooked. Outside of that, I never got cooked. I was out all the time. But it does something to you, and we've unfortunately lost that. So many people have lost that. They've lost the ability to be able to absorb the energy that the sun gives us. That we've lost the ability to absorb the what do you want to call it? The power, the There's got to be a word for it. Nutrients, vitamins, whatever you want to, whatever it is that the sun gives us, we've lost that ability to have it. On that same token, people have said the moon, and there's still the temperature thing with the moon, is that it's colder in the moonlight than it is in the shade of the moon. So the moon itself, I don't want to say that it's a diseased light, because some people will say, "Oh, the moon is a diseased light. It actually kills more than it helps." I don't want to say it's diseased. I want to say that it's not as beneficial. I still prefer being outside at night on a full moon. Personally, that's just me. But I've always been what you would call a night creature. I like taking walks at night in the middle of the night. It's a lot more peaceful. It's a lot more comforting, I guess you could call it. I don't know. I always say it's because everybody's asleep and I don't have to deal with people. But I would definitely not say it's a diseased light. I would say that it's not nearly as beneficial. But to hear this, you have to put that in perspective. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Now again, that could be, there is nothing as big as the sun that's going to hurt you, that God is not going to allow it to hurt you. And there is nothing as big as the moon that is going to hurt you by night. That the Lord will keep you wherever you are, that you do not need to worry. You can look at it that way. Literally, though, we can also look at it that the Lord is thy shade on thy right hand. He will keep the sun from hurting you. The Lord is thy shade on thy right hand. He will keep the moon from hurting you. There's something in the words. There's always something in the words, but we can take it both ways. Because again, the Bible is a living book. There's always three meanings. I've said that from the very beginning. There's always three meanings. There's that literal way of reading it, where you literally read the book and you can put it into context. And there's that what's the word? Oh, come on now. My brain does not want to work today. Where it says one thing but it means another thing. Not an allegory. Illusion, is that the word I'm looking for? It alludes to the things. That's not the word I'm looking for. You know what I mean, though. Is that You can take it. Oh, for crying out loud. You can take it to be literal, or you could take it to be figurative. How's that for you? Figuratively. Where it could just be poetic. And I'm not going to say that the Bible is poetic. It has poetic verses, and it talks about things like that, but you can take it both ways. You can take it literally, and you can take it figuratively. And then the third way is you can take it spiritually. Spiritually, the Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The Lord will keep your spirit with him. He will not let you be hurt by the things of this world. The sun and the moon, they have their own place in this spiritual cosmos of the world. That he will keep you from them. The sun is a god to some people. The moon is a goddess to some people. He will keep you from them. You can take it. You can take the Bible 3 different ways, at least. At least. But those 2 lines right there, are amazing. Makes you think. It really makes you think. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. There we go again. That was the exact same thing. He shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thee from the sun. He shall preserve thee from the moon. He shall save your soul from them. You get that? Get that spiritualness? The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. What a psalm, man. Wow. But that is, I was even saying, we don't need to worry about the things that are happening in this world. I mean, it's happening. There are things that are happening, and yes, we can prevent them. We have always had the power to be able to prevent them by asking Father, asking the Lord what to do, asking God what to do. What do we do? How do we fix this? One of the ways he says fix is come back to me. Come back to me, follow my commandments, and I will help you. We get that through understanding. We get that through prayer and meditation, and understanding of his word, just reading the Bible. Asking him for forgiveness. That's how it starts. So many people out there are just so lost and so manipulated by the system that they... What was I hearing about yesterday? It was a video talking about a girl that... She seemed just fine throughout her teenage years. You know, never really had a problem. Was a bit shy, but you know, was never really that outspoken or anything. But you know, she was functional, so you know, in society. And they said as she got older, they started noticing that she was becoming more introverted, becoming more detached from the world, was living in her phone more. And I stopped and I said, well, there's a problem right there. I said, if this is pre-high school, well, there's your problem. You gave her a phone, and then the phone detached her from the world. And sure enough, it said, well, as soon as she got to high school, and I said, that's what it is. That's where it is. The girl became detached from reality because you gave her a phone. These things that we are given in this world are not there to help us. They are not tools. They are there to hurt us. Of course, it was one of the narrator of the thing. He did not, just like everybody else, he probably didn't think, oh, well, you know, it was the phone that detached her from the world. You know, that it was it probably wasn't, just that she just slowly became more and more detached. It was that she became detached from this world and became attached to that world. And that drove her into this completely different person. And what had happened was she started becoming so detached from the reality of the world that she started becoming this internet, what's the word, star, this internet's personality, became famous on Instagram, and became famous on other things because she was a girl and she was young, and apparently went through the whole thing of posting pictures of herself, talking about her life, and she started getting hangers on, guys that would send her gifts, send her money, send her things, and they would request, sexual favors from her and things like that. And the whole deal, the whole thing, it's something that we have personally seen in our lives, with different people that we know. And all I could think of was there's your problem right there. Is the first thing you did was you allowed evil to creep in through the tools of this world that people don't think are harmless. Oh, the phone it's harmless. It can't do anything. It's a tool. It helps you. There's maps, and there's, it gives me an alarm clock, and it gives me this and gives me that, and it lets me talk to friends. But it detaches you from this world. Human interaction and human contact has decreased, I think somebody said, by 60%. Whereas we used to actually try to physically get in touch with people, go out and talk to people anywhere we could, get out of the house and become involved in the world and understand, what is going on in the world. And as soon as phones came along, people became separated from that. They fell as far away from that as possible. And that is sadly an ability that we may never get back. We may never, unless we can somehow magically get rid of all of the electronics all at once, we may never be able to get back to that point to where we were all part of this society where we were together. We were able to talk to each other on the street, and look at each other on the street and greet each other, and have conversations that didn't devolve into constant shouting. And you don't have these debates on the street where if somebody doesn't get their way, they will literally devolve into crumpling into a ball on the street and crying because they cannot function as people. And I've seen that. I've seen the videos of these people doing that. I've seen these things. And it is because we have detached ourselves from reality, so much so that how do I want to put this? We've detached ourselves so much from this reality that we have just let these things happen. That we have not considered the ramifications of what these things have done to us. At first, we thought they were great. Oh, look at this computer thing that we can get on and we can talk to people from around the world, and it's a wonderful thing. And We're supposed to get connected, but it didn't connect us. It separated us. It separated us so much to the point that we don't even know who we're talking to on the other end of the phone anymore. We don't know who it is. What their motivations are. What they want out of you. And people will believe a face on a TV screen now more than they will believe the person that's sitting beside them in the room. That's a scary concept, especially knowing that we have the ability now to just completely fake people. And that's a fact. So I don't know if anybody really understands how deep fakes work. But what it does is you can take a picture of a person and you can put it on top of a moving video of another person. A picture too. But you can take a picture of a person and put it on top of a video of another person. And you can even fake voices now too. They have voice fakers, and I've heard some of these voices that they have, these what do you want to call them? Well, I know voice changers have gotten really good, but just pure voice, computer voice things, I don't even know what to call them. They've gotten so good at reading text that it's getting harder and harder to discern if it's real or not. So there is also a thing now. It is an entire database. It's a website of computer-generated faces where they have taken several different faces from several different places, put them together, and the computer makes a face of a person that does not exist in the world. Completely fake people. So follow this along with me. You have a place that can make up faces completely out of the blue. They can take those faces, put them on top of moving videos of people in order to create a person that does not exist. And then you can put a voice to it. That, I still say, is the image of the beast. That will be what it is. You don't have to see people out in the real world to know that they exist. All you have to do is see it on TV, and 9 times out of 10, if somebody sees something on TV, they'll believe it. So you have a fake person that is following the motions of another person, and you don't even need that anymore because we have enough motion capture and enough AI-driven, computer-driven movements that you don't even need to do motion capture anymore. You don't need somebody to do the motions. You can just have them talk over something, or just have the image move over something that already either exists or that the computer can make happen. And all it does is follow a script with a computer-generated voice, computer-generated face, computer-generated movements. And it's fake, but people will believe it because it's on TV. Because people won't understand that it's not real. But that's the level. That's where we're at right now. That's exactly where we're at right now, and it's getting harder and harder to discern. And I've been seeing it as much as I can, because there's not a lot of people that are really, really talking about it. There's some people that are talking about it, but they're not really, really pushing the idea that, this is something that could pop up and hurt us all. It's like, why aren't we really talking about this? This is something that's right there. We should really be talking about this. But they're too busy worried about other stuff. But this stuff is happening in the background. How do you know that the people that are on TV are even real? Just because a newscaster says that he's real and he sits there and he reads off of a teleprompter, how do you know he's real? The people that read the news, they don't move their bodies that much. They don't move their heads that much. Are they even real? Are the talking heads on the news, are they real people? Think about that for a second. And somebody could say, well, you see them out in the world. Can you? I've never seen news people in the world. I've never seen the President of the United States up close. Ever. I've never seen these politicians or anybody up close. It's getting harder and harder to see them up close. They're building walls around the buildings. They're building walls and fences and all kinds of other stuff around the Capitol buildings of the world. Not just the Capitol, but the big buildings of the world. They just built a big concrete fence around the White House, for crying out loud. Even then, they don't even shoot video inside of the White House anymore. Every time you see the President of the United States, he's not in the Oval Office. He's in some kind of a screen, some kind of a background screen in some place that doesn't exist. It's not real anymore. None of it's real anymore. We can go back to whenever this all first started. This whole thing about whether the White House was real or not, because there was a fake White House that's on the movie set in Atlanta. The fact that it was right after that when Biden started coming out on TV and everybody kept saying that's not the Oval Office. We've never really seen him in an Oval Office. We've seen mock-ups of an Oval Office that people have said if you look out the windows, the trees aren't right. That there's a road that's back there that shouldn't be there. People don't know what it is. People don't know why it doesn't look right the way that it is. That there were things missing off of the desk. I even said that. I even talked about that and said that the button that was there that they said, oh, well, he removed the Diet Coke button because somebody questioned it. It's like it wasn't a Diet Coke button. It was an emergency call button is what it was. But because they didn't use it as much as everybody else used to use it, they would jokingly order Diet Cokes on it. That's what it was. It wasn't just Trump that did it. It was Obama that did it. It was Gerald Ford used to order soup, is what it said. It's because they needed to test it. They needed to test the button every day or every week or whatever it was, and that's what they would do. They would test it every single day by ordering food, ordering something. But it was there. It's a thing. It was a legit thing. It was an emergency call button is what it was. But whenever they used to show when Biden first got in there, somebody forgot. Whether it was intentional or not, somebody forgot. And everybody called him out for it. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, they started showing him in the Oval Office with it in there. And then suddenly and magically, people started talking about the stuff outside the windows. They kept saying that the trees that were outside, the bushes, the road, there was a truck that somehow magically drove past the window outside of the Oval Office, and somebody said that shouldn't happen because that should be all grass out there. But it got called out, and as soon as it got called out, it wasn't even like a month after that they started filming inside of the fake Oval Office. The one that they have now, where they do pretty much everything they do And it's just like 4 big TV screens on a backdrop with a desk in front of it or something. And it's like there's this series of progression of mistakes that happened, and it makes you ponder the question, what is real anymore? Who was it? I don't ever remember who said it, but when the head of the CIA or whatever it was said that whenever the people can't trust anything that comes on a TV, we will know that our psychological operation is won. You have fake governments being run by fake AI-driven deep fakes that can not only fake the movements, they can fake the voice, they can fake the face. You can make completely random, no-name ass people and put them on TV and call them real. And that is a legitimate thing that can happen now because the United States government can use propaganda against its own citizens because they have repealed the Smith-Mundt Act back in, what was it, 2012, 2016? No, it was 2018, I think is when it was. It started in 76 and it got carried through, and then it just recently got repealed. It got taken off the books 1 year before everything went to shit. Pretty much what it was. Maybe 2 years before. If you probably look at it, it's probably 666 days. That's the way these things work. But that's all fact. That's all truth. It's all one thing after another, after another, after another. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. I can't tell you that for certain. But everything seems to line up. If you put all these little pieces together, put all the puzzle pieces together, even the one, what was it? Whenever people actually saw Biden going down the road to the actual White House in Washington, D.C., and when he got there, and they had video of him standing outside the building, and he couldn't get in because somebody forgot the keys. Something stupid. It's like, isn't the White House just constantly open? Who would lock the doors to the White House? How does that work? But that was what the mainstream narrative. Maybe all that's a lie. Maybe the whole thing is a lie. Maybe they put all these things there to make us think that it's all fake. That's a possibility. They're hitting us on 15 million different sides, 15 million different things that we don't know what's real or not anymore. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. There's so much out there. And I've gotten on such a tangent on this that I don't even know what we were talking about now. Seriously, though, it's... People have fallen for the lies of this world so much. I was talking about the girl, is what it was. Is that we've just not harmlessly. We've just given over to this understanding that all of these tools that these people have made for us are okay, that they're good for us, that they will help us in some way, shape, or form. And slowly but surely, these things that they have given us, laptops, telephones, digital TV, they have come to hurt us. They have done nothing for us but hurt us. They are not there to help. They are there to hurt. And they have used that to manipulate us into a world of sheep that will believe anything we are told, and we will fall for it. And they give it to people at the youngest ages possible. One of the things I said whenever I first started hearing about kindergartners getting laptops, or not laptops, iPads, the first thing I started thinking whenever I heard that was, oh, God, that's too early. That's way too early. And this was 15, 20 years ago. I said, that's way too early. You can't give a kindergartner an iPad. But you got people out there that are giving 6-year-olds phones. And it's that slow manipulation. And it's going to keep going and keep going. And then you start hearing about all this stuff that they're introducing into schools. You start hearing about major mega corporations that are starting to push certain agendas. And you feel the lies. You feel the lies of this world, and you just... It hurts your soul, man. It really does hurt your soul. And I think what hurts worse is, again, people just don't want to... They don't want to admit that there's something going on that could hurt them. They just want to blindly follow along with everything that's going on. And they don't think anything is wrong. But when you put it all together, one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, it's all lies. Every single bit of this world is a lie of what you've been told. I've already said I've started finding out the only thing that is truth in this world is what God tells us. It's what this Bible tells us. It's what all of these books that this world tries its damnedest to get rid of. That is truth. Because that stuff now officially makes more sense than the garbage that they are teaching us. Or that they're trying to tell us. I am exhausted now. I am exhausted now. And it's just like it's like a mental dump is what happens. It's just you get all of this stuff out and you just it's how I feel. All right. At any rate, I guess I should get going so I can start getting ready for work. I don't really have anything other than that. We're planning our Passover Seder for April 15th. Again, I talked about it yesterday that some people have it one day, some people have it another day. So we got that going, and I'll have to start watching some Passover videos again. There was a way that I described the Passover, the not only the Passover but the Last Supper that Christ had. And I described it in a way to my wife that she said, that was beautiful. That was the most amazing thing I've ever heard. So I have to try to remember exactly how that went. I remember some details about it, but I know there were other things that have kind of slipped my mind. Just because, at the time that I was watching those videos have probably disappeared off of YouTube by now. But I'll have to look that stuff back up and see. Yeah, I don't have anything other than that, man. Everyone, you guys take care of yourselves. Seriously. Don't ever give up. Know that you are protected. if you live in the grace and love of God, of the Father, of the Most High Yahuwah, if you live in His grace and His love, then you don't have to worry. But that doesn't mean you have to just put up with it. There's still nothing in the Bible that I have found that says that you just have to put up with it, unless that is His will. If that is His will, that is His will. But you still need to speak up and try to save and help others. And if you're not speaking up and trying to help others, then you are complicit. So we all have to do our part here. We all have to do our best to try to help others to try to get through this. That's really all I've got. I shall talk to you guys later. God bless you all. I love all of you. I really do. Because really we're all stuck in this evil world together. And just trying to get through at this point. Take care of yourselves. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, take care.